Thank you.
Ang next na magtatanong, ako na lang daw yung magtatanong. From Alex Brosas of Inquirer Lifestyle. Alex's question is, what makes your experience in doing Monarch surreal? Siguro nakwento mo na, no?
Ang dami.
Baka lang meron ka lang gusto pang idagdag. A surreal experience in
I
Monarch?
guess there's a lot. I mean, siguro bawat araw na nasa set ako sobrang surreal. I mean, even now, I mean, earlier I was crying when we did the watch party just to see my family in America not watching TFC, not watching ABS-CBN, and for them to be watching a channel that's, you know, not Filipino related was something na hindi ko inakala na mangyayari. And it feels good that just because I'm doing this, it doesn't mean that I'm leaving my Filipino roots or that my Filipino supporters will not be with me. It feels good to see that, you know, I mean, thank you so much, I Want TFC, for making this happen. Actually, I found out 3 days before I left the Philippines that Monarch will be streamed in I Want TFC. And surreal yung, kasi tagal kong, honestly, in all honesty, ang tagal kong inisip paano ba mapapanood yung Monarch sa Pilipinas.
Tama.
And I was worrying, sabi ko, if it's gonna be on Fox, how will it be shown in the Philippines? I guess it feels surreal that you know, a show like this that I was part of would be shown in the Philippines.
Right. I Want TFC made it happen. And ang Monarch po ay mapapanood exclusively sa I Want TFC. So kung kayo ay fan ni Inigo, fan ng country, I have friends sa Pilipinas na fan ng country music. Mag-download na kayo ng I Want TFC para mapanood nyo ang Monarch. Okay, ang follow-up question ni Alex was work ethics ng production na na-experience mo na worth emulating dito sa Pilipinas.
I guess working on a TV show is like working on a movie production in the Philippines. We don't do more than 4 to 6 sequences a day. Sa Pilipinas kasi, syempre, I mean, we can't compare it. I mean, we live in times where weather is more extreme in the Philippines. Syempre, di alam ng mga maraming tao na we sometimes do 20 to 30 sequences a day. Whereas in the Philippines, I've been in Atlanta when I was working on the show, I was in Atlanta for almost 8 months. And we would only do 4 to 6 sequences a day. So, grabe yung trabaho na ginagawa ng mga Pinoy. Grabe yung training na nagawa ko in the Philippines. To be able to memorize and to be able to practice emotions within a day, wherein you're mad, you're happy, you're crying, you're sad. 20 sequences a day in the Philippines is a big training na nakatulong talaga sa akin. Whereas in America, you're only doing like sometimes 1 sequence a day. And you
parang narinig ko pa nga yata, sila pa yung nagsasabi na, can we, please Inigo, take a break. Parang
yeah. Sometimes they will take you to take a break. They will tell you to relax.
Right.
And siguro, yun yung gusto kong mas makita sa Pilipinas, na mas mabigyan yung artist ng breathing time. Kasi minsan nakaka-bipolar, minsan nakakabigla. And minsan siguro yun yung mahirap i-explain ng mga artist sa Philippines na kunyari makita mo sila na wala sila sa mood.
Right.
Hindi nyo alam na siguro kakatapos lang nila umiyak sa eksena kasi isang ganun kailangan mo gawin yung isang eksena. Tapos kailangan mo mag-smile agad sa mga tao as if nothing happened. In the States, it's more is it right, secluded? Tama ba yung term? Na isolated, mas tago yung mga nangyayari.
Right.
Unlike in the Philippines, it's like, umiyak ka, kakasigaw mo lang sa eksena, lalabas ka, papunta ka sa tent mo, tapos mag-hi ka sa mga tao. Tapos, pag sinabi
tapos mag-showtime
ka,
mag-aasap ka.
Tapos, matatapos ka ng 3 a.m., diretso ka ng asap ng 6 a.m., wala kang tulog.
That's right. Maybe it's something that, you know, in the future, artists like you, pagbalik sa Pilipinas, can probably recommend that, diba? Pag naging producer ka na or director ka na.
Ang hirap mag-memorize ng choreography nang wala kang tulog.
Alright, thank you, Inigo. Ang next natin ay mula kay Alan Sancon. at ako magbabasa ng question ni Alan. Ang first question niya is, talagang nakafocus na yung career mo sa music, no? Na-miss mo rin bang umarte? Yan na ba talaga ang goal sa career? Okay, Alan, with your indulgence, no? Parang dito sa Monarch, you sing and you act. Tama, Inigo? Alright. So yung question mo, Alan, nakafocus sa career sa music. Siguro, tulungan ko na lang si Alan sa question niya, no? Baka meron din bang plans to explore music in the US, Inigo?
I feel like with this project, it was very perfect. Sobrang mas nagkaroon ako motivation to accept, and not to accept, but to audition for it, rather. Kasi I was able to not just act, but also to showcase my ability in singing. And just like our fellow Filipina, Olivia Rodrigo, I wanted to be able to expand my audience through a series.
Right.
And with this show, I claim and I hope that I'm able to really expand my reach to a point where I can independently release my music outside of the project.
Right.
And sana mas makagawa pa ako ng music out of the country, out of the Philippines, but also in a way bringing my country with me. And I feel like it's a perfect platform to be able to showcase both acting and singing. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm leaving one over the other. I feel like in a way this is a perfect project to be able to showcase both.
Saka with your previous record with Tarshir, I think you collaborated with
exactly. Yeah, I was
Grammy award-winning producer, right?
Yes, I was actually talking to my managers before I got accepted for this project that it was kind of almost like perfect timing that I was able to release an all English album before I auditioned for this, because in a way it becomes like a showcase that
portfolio
outside of Monarch, I do have my own personal music that I could have my American audience listen to, potentially, hopefully the global audience listen to. Na hindi lang ako si Ace Roman, na meron din akong sarili kong music, and that's what I hope with this project.
Nice. Ang second question ni Alan, babasahin ko lang to, Inigo, ha, wag mo isisi sa akin to, ha. Bukod sa na-miss mo ang acting, na-miss mo rin bang magkaroon ng ka-love team? Kamusta kayo ni Harris? Posible bang makapagtrabaho kayo soon in the future?
I do have a love team actually in this project. I do have
I know.
Emma Malani, who plays as my girlfriend on this show. And actually working with her on this project, I was able to introduce her to a lot of the Filipino culture, including love teams.
Pinakita mo sa kanya yung mga love teams.
A lot of it surprises me that American culture and other cultures are not as attached to love teams as they are in the Philippines. And it was nice to introduce that to her actually, kasi syempre sabi ko, with this project, with it being shown in the Philippines, you'll probably understand what a love team is, whether you like it or not. Sabi ko sa kanya, with the Filipino supporters, it will most likely be a thing. And off the bat, I just had to explain to her the pros and cons of it. I mean, a lot of it's hard to say, but like a lot of it can be negative and a lot of it can be positive.
Right. Double-edged sword.
Exactly. And I guess I wanted her to be aware of what could happen potentially with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm like like any other actor, like any other artist out there. We're grateful for whatever we're given. We're grateful for whatever project we're put in, and whatever happens, and whatever blossoms will blossom. And I guess let's break that stereotype.
Right.
Let's break that mold.
Actually, magandang thesis yan, topic. Bakit ba into love teams ang Filipino audience? Diba? Okay, next question mula kay Albert Brian mula ng Chicanes Avenue. Hi Albert, I think he's here. Albert, nag-pull over ka na ba? Kasi kanina nagda-drive siya nakita ko Kung wala si Albert, basahin ko na lang yung question ni Albert. Baka na-traffic na siya. Pressure ba maging Filipino pride?
I feel like more than pressure, it makes me feel proud to be able to say that you are one of the artists and one of the people that is able to carry the flag of the Philippines with you in a project such as this.
Mhm.
Um, Growing up in America, I've always dreamt that I would be someone that is part of a generation that is able to cross over, that is able to link that gap between America and the Philippines, someone that is
Right.
able to showcase and introduce to the Filipinos, the second generation, third generation Filipinos in America, that it is not lame to be proud of your roots.
Mhm.
I feel like all my life, I've always been proud of my dad. I've always been proud of, TFC, ABS-CBN, but it was always hard to find out and to pinpoint who is that person that shows me that you can be both, that it's not two different identities,
Right.
that it can be merged.
Right.
And I feel like we live in that generation wherein it's possible to do both, that you can be proud of being Filipino American and you can also be proud of being Filipino. Um, and that's my goal. I mean, my personal goal as an artist is to be able to bridge that gap. That it's not lame to be
Mhm.
speaking in Filipino. Marami ako nakikilala sa Pilipinas na hindi marunong mag-Tagalog. And to be honest, me growing up in America, I've always longed for that, to be able to speak in my own native language without feeling as if I'm being judged, that I'm being
Right.
looked down upon.
Right.
And it feels good to be proud of, where I come from and to be able to say that, yeah, I'm from the Philippines.
Right. Two
And
follow-up questions. Speaking of that, Tagalog ka ba sa Monarch?
wala pa. Abangan.
Wala pa. Wala pa. Wala pa. Second question. Ito real talk lang. When you audition, they're looking for the twang. Tama?
Yeah. I didn't do it in my audition. Hindi ko talaga ginawa. I didn't act as if I knew how to do it.
Okay.
Like what I said, I was 2 weeks late. I was 2 weeks behind on the submission. And I'm forever thankful for my team for encouraging me. Sila Tito Eric, sila Tita Monch, Derek Loren,
Mhm.
Coach Mickey, and Ate Gares, for pushing me dahil hindi ko talaga kinonsider. I was
Okay.
like, because at that time, I was training for a concert that I was supposed to do in November. So I was going through the same training as BGYO, same training as Beanie, intensive training every day. And sabi ko, okay na ako sa career ko. Sabi ko, okay na po ako. Sabi ko, masaya na ako sa ginagawa ko sa music ko dito sa Philippines. I'm okay. I don't need that. And then they told me, pag ginawa mo yung audition, paano kung natanggap ka? Bigger stage, bigger opportunity. Paano kung hindi? Meron ka pa rin naman nandito sa Pilipinas na gantay para sa'yo. And doon ko na-realize na, oh nga no, what if I can expand my horizon? What if I can expand my reach?
Right.
And that's the only reason why I actually considered doing this project.
Right. This feels like a deja vu of our conversation.
Yeah,
3
exactly.
weeks ago. Okay. All right. Yung second question ni Albert is, what approach in acting do you need to change? I think you answered this already, no? Medyo na sagot na to ni Inigo. Let's move to a question from Kapamilya Online World. Ang question nila is, will you be a series regular? Is there any talks or plans on a possible second season for Monarch? I think you already answered that, but
Yeah.
are you regular? Every episode
Yes,
ba Inigo makikita
yeah.
ka namin?
I'm a regular on the show, which makes me proud to say that I'm a regular on Monarch. I'm one of the main cast in this show. And questions about season 2, we'll need you guys to please support it. Dahil syempre depende pa rin po sa paano tatanggapin ng mga viewers natin yung show.
Right. Their follow-up question is, what was the most challenging part in portraying Ace?
I guess the hardest part about portraying Ace was the accent.
Accent. Can you talk to us using an accent with an accent?
So if I was supposed to be, okay, when I started the show, I was scared, but eventually when I started actually filming for the show, they told me that I don't have to have a strong accent because of
you came from the Philippines.
No. The teenagers in Texas pala, hindi ganun ka-strong yung accent nila. It's more of the
Oh.
older people in Texas. So we're based in Texas, and they told me that there's certain words like such as grandma, grandpa, mama. Um, those keywords will define that. Oh, you're from the South. Like you know how to speak as if you're a Southern boy, but it's
Southern
not as
accent.
strong as like saying hi. Like one of the things that I had to learn uh the first few days that I was there, my first talking line was, how y'all doing tonight? My name's Ace Roman. Like, how y'all doing tonight? My name
Yeah.
is Ace Roman. And then yung grandma, grandma, grandpa.
Mhm, mhm. Tama ba ako in assuming na parang you sound like a cowboy?
A little bit like a cowboy, yeah.
A little bit like a cowboy. Okay, okay, okay. All right.